Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So let us start the next topic of our ongoing chapter, that is force and laws of motion. And the topic that we are going to start today, that is third law of motion. Okay, this is third law of motion. In our previous lectures we had studied about second law of motion and its various numerical problems. Okay, so let us start third law of motion. So students, third law of motion says that every action have equal and opposite reaction, So let us understand this. It means if there is any force is acting on an object, then that object also exert the force back on the first object. Okay, this is if there is a block and someone applying any force like F force is applying by someone on this block, then this block also exert a force and that is of equal magnitude F. ओके अगर एक ब्लॉक है उसके ऊपर एक फोर्स लग रहा है, उसका मैग्नीट्यूड F है, देन ये ब्लॉक भी फोर्स अप्लाई करेगा इस पर्सन पे जो इस पे फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहा है, और वो भी सेम मैग्नीट्यूड का. ओके, हियर वन थिंग वी हैव टू नोटिस अबाउट दैट फोर्स इन मैग्नीट्यूड आर इक्वल बट अपोजिट इन डायरेक्शन. ओके, the forces are opposite in direction. Okay, and this is called action and other is called reaction. Okay, this is action and this is reaction. So every action have equal and opposite reaction. This is action going on, this is reaction, this is opposite in direction. Okay, we can see various examples or various application of this third law of motion in our daily life. We can say like rocket propulsions. You had seen various rockets that taking satellites with them in the space. Okay, so rocket propulsions, and we can say while we are walking on road, okay, and we can say we can take example of gun shooting with the gun. Okay, so these are और भी ऐसे बहुत से मिल जाएंगे. These are the various example we can see in routine life. Okay, गन वाला example movies में देख सकते हैं. So these are the basic examples of where the application of third law of motion we can use. Okay, to understand these phenomena. How I'm explaining this one. Okay, this walking, how it will helpful for how it used the third law of motion. While moving on a road, we apply a force on this road, and on other hand this road also exert a force on our feet in opposite direction, and that force help us to move forward. Okay, so if we are here one question also raised, if we are moving with due to this force, then why road is not moving with the force that applied by us? भाई अगर हम फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो रोड भी तो मूव करना चाहिए. अगर हम रोड के फोर्स से कर रहे हैं, why road is not moving? So answer is we had studied about the force applied from both the side is equal and opposite direction, but the acceleration is not equal produced by both the forces. As in our previous two laws we had studied, in those laws we had studied the force produced the acceleration, but here one thing we have to understand, in this the acceleration produced due to these forces is not equal. Okay, let us understand why this is not produced. if I'm talking about the, I'm again taking this case, okay. Let us assume a person which is applies a force here, that is applying 25 Newton force, oh sorry, the force applied, whatever the object we are considering, it has 20 kg weight, okay, and this block has let's say 50 kg weight. So we had studied one formula, that is F is equal to ma, okay, and this is F1 force, this is F2, this is F1 m1 a1, and similarly the F2 is equal to m2 a2. We know that when we are talking about action and reaction or third law, here two objects are involved and both having different masses. So if the masses are differ, so at that time, to satisfy this equation, we have to change the value of a1 and a2. We have to change the value of acceleration to satisfy this. How? If I'm saying F1 is equal to F2, after putting the value, m1 is 20 and into a1 is equal to 50 into a2. So we can extract from this final conclusion, if we want to equal these two values, if we want that these two values get equal, then here a1 value is larger than as compared to a2. भाई अगर ये a1 ज़्यादा होगा compared to a2, तभी तो ये दोनों का आंसर सेम आएगा ना. So that's why, because mass of the objects in these cases differ from each other, so that's why the value of acceleration produced by these forces is also differ. Okay, now take one more example about guns. Okay, while shooting from a gun, what happens? A bullet released from gun or shooted from gun. The bullet is going with too much higher acceleration as compared to a gun. Reason is bullet has very lesser mass as compared to gun. Bullet mass is in grams, but a gun can be measured in kg, 1 k, 5 kg, 6 kg, 2 kg. As compared to bullet, gun has very large mass. So that's why the acceleration produced in gun is very smaller as compared to a bullet. While shooting a bullet travels a distance, we can say in kilometers or in meters, but the gun displaced in centimeter or millimeters. Okay, so remember this thing while doing numericals, okay, because it will help you to understand the problem of understand the numerical problems. Okay, so these are the basic examples about third law of motions. Okay, so I want you should apply you apply the rocket you apply the third law in rocket technology. Okay, rocket propulsions, how it applicable in third law of motion, applicable in rocket propulsion or jet propulsion. Okay, this is your homework. So these are the third law of motion.